Hey guys, Cam315 back at it with another video for you guys, back with another episode review of my status as an assassin obviously exceeds the hero as we continue on with more of this great show. And I can't believe they left us off on that diabolical cliffhanger going into next week where you have Amelia captured by Orem Tress, one of the people, I guess, that's affiliated with the Demon Lord. Um, it's gonna be interesting, man. I do wonder, is this another test of the Demon Lord to show Akira's power? Because we do find out, according to Night, that the Demon Lord does want to meet Akira in this, wants to meet Akira at some point. So, did he do this as a way to, I guess, see more, I guess, but we'll talk about it. But this episode was good. We got some nice understanding of some backstory about, Night, and we get introduced to another member of the hero's party in Crow, who is a blacksmith that is going to be making Akira's new weapon. But it's going to be interesting. So, anyways, obviously, with the events from last week's episode, they're basically prepping to go to this Beast Kingdom, the Beast Kingdom, because that's what they need to go do, because Akira needs to go. One, he wants to go train to get stronger, and two, he definitely needs to upgrade his weapon and fix his weapon. So basically, that's the whole thing that he wants to do, of going to the Beast People. So they do go on this carriage. It's kind of, well, one, it's kind of also hinted at that the father, in a weird way, kind of gave his blessing to Akira, because it kind of felt like, oh, you're welcome to come anytime, including your friend over here, and stuff like that. And let's just say Amelia was very blunt with her feelings towards Akira in this episode, like legitimately. We do see her sister and the one guy. Apparently, it seems like they're going to be having a relationship because they get flustered about, them getting closer to each other. So I guess that's something to do, right? The sisters basically say their goodbyes and they hope to see each other again. Amelia basically goes with Akira. So essentially, they're just wondering like what they can do and everything. And Amelia's just like happy because she's like, well, I get to be with Akira. We're gonna have a great time together and things like that. Now, Akira's kind of tuning her out about some of this stuff she was bringing up. And then essentially his detection skill goes off, and we find out like these bandits were about to raid them. So they basically are like, hey man, if one, they also have another assassin that has the detection skill too. Basically, they say, hey, listen, we know you're there. Look, you try anything funny, we're gonna kill this elf girl, right? This little kid, right? And they see Amelia, they're like, oh, it's a elven princess. We got ourselves a big catch. But Akira immediately just speeds up, knocks these dudes out, ties them up, tells basically the elven guard, like, hey, take them back to the country. You guys, and question them. We're just gonna go on foot the rest of the way. And they're like, wait, are you sure? And Akira's like, yes. Excuse me, again, yes, that's what's going to happen. We're going on foot the rest of the way. So you have that whole moment. You have that happening, right? So then essentially they get to the boat, they get to the ship that's going to depart for the Beast Folk Kingdom, and everything. Also, too, we do find we do get an interesting fact to it, because they do ask Knight, like, hey, why weren't you like, why were you up to the side during this whole conflict we were with the Elven Kingdom? And essentially Knight is like, look, because the Demon Lord is watching me, and everything, I'm not really gonna get involved in most of the things and stuff like that unless I have to. So I'm just kind of sticking to the side. So it seems like Knight is kind of like not supposed to do much unless provoked, because the Demon Lord's watching her. And on top of it, we do find out from Knight, like, apparently the Demon Lord does want to meet Akira, and is intrigued with him. And Knight does say, like, it's not in a way where he wants to be hostile towards you. It's in a way he just wants to see you because he's very interested in you. So obviously Akira's like, well, okay, if the dude wants to meet me, then okay, I guess I can't turn the guy down. I would like to see what this guy has to offer, which is interesting, especially when you get to the next part of the last part of the episode with the Orem Tress thing with him capturing Amelia. Was this orders from the Demon Lord to see like, okay, let's see if we can take something that clearly means a lot to Akira, and see how he acts, right? And maybe that intrigues him more to see, more about him, right? So yes. So essentially, what ends up happening is the funny part about this whole, ship thing is, Amelia, she's just like, man, we're gonna have this great time. I just can't wait to see the sunset on the boat. This because it's my first time, and I'm gonna get to spend time with Akira. She's just in her own head of wanting to have this alone time with Akira, right? And wanting to have this, I guess you can say, romantic time with him. Now it's funny because Akira, she looks over at Akira, and Akira's reading this book. She's like, "What are you doing? Where did you get that book?" And he's like, "Well, actually, I end up actually getting that from your father, and it's actually a really good read. He actually gave me." A lot of the books from your home, so it's great that I'm gonna be reading this and everything. And obviously she's like, oh father, why did you do this? This is supposed to be my time with him. And it's funny because Akira's like, wait, what did you say? And she's like, you're stupid, right? This man Akira was dense in this episode up until the last bit of the episode, because I think and I'll talk about that in a second, right? Or in a bit. But I found it hilarious how Amelia has this whole plan of like, oh, we're gonna have this romantic, and it's funny too because she's like, you're not supposed to be reading. You're supposed to have this romantic time with me. And Akira is just batting that over his head. He's like, well, actually, I just kind of want to read and stuff like that. And I'm just like, my guy, bro, you have a bombshell hot elf girl. Why would you not want to spend time with her, bro? And she's clearly into you. And it's even funnier too when Night also it's clear Night knows that Amelia likes Akira. So I do like the point that she always makes the mention of like, oh, I'm gonna give you guys some alone time and stuff like that. You don't get, you guys can go get frisky and things like that. But I found that quite funny. And then once they arrive, she's just like, geez, all he did was read. And if he didn't read, he was sleeping. And it's like, you can tell, like, damn, this girl is bummed out that she didn't get what she wanted, which is to be hanging out with the guys she clearly is infatuated with, right? So essentially, we find they touch down and they come across some of these beast dudes, because one, we do see like human like labor workers and things like that, and you see like these beast people like, hey man, you might want to get out of the way and let us get this girl, right? And obviously Akira's like, please don't try me right now, and he attacks him. Honestly, I thought just seeing that scene alone, I'm like, am I watching uh gotcha skill 9,999, because that's what's happening. Because apparently I guess in that anime, humans not really liked by other races, other like fantasy world races, right? They're all hated, right? So I'm just like, okay, so it's clear this town does not like beast folk. Now as they're also walking in this town, right, or one, we do see that hooded girl from the first or second episode. We see her, with a hood, so clearly she's getting back into the fold. But we do see, but as they're walking in this town square to go find basically an inn to stay in, right? They're like, why is like, Night, why are these people looking at you like this? And Night is like, well, it's actually fairly complicated. You don't want to know. So yeah, that's the whole thing, right? And then essentially what happens is after they're getting done eating, it's late at night, and essentially Night is like, look, I'm gonna go, and everything. Or one, because they're in the room, they're like, okay, what are we gonna do about the sleeping arrangement? And honestly, Amelia's like, well, I don't mind if you sleep with me, Akira. And Akira's like, no, that's not cool. I don't want to do that. They're like, why should we share one bed when there's two beds in the room? She's like, well, why not? Like, we might as well. And it's funny because Nana's like, well, I'm gonna let you two go. You two can clear, and obviously Knight is like, listen, Master, don't piss her off. Like, look, I'm gonna go leave because I have something to go take care of at the moment. But I'll leave you alone to, make sure I'm not bothering the mood, right? She's basically implying like she's gonna go away so she can have because she's envisioning like, well, it's clear she wants him that bad, so I'm just gonna be like, look, Akira. Now I don't know why not just be like, look, dude, she wants to get in your pants, bro. She wants to do the dirty with you, right? She wants to sleep with you. Um, Night, obviously, Akira, I think he somewhat picks up on that, but he's just like, no, 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 this can't happen. And he's like, and she gives the whole funny, like, there's no, wrath like a woman scored. And obviously, Akira's like, how do that phrase is not even in this world. And how would you even know something like that, right? Now, Amelia's like, well, hey, I'm gonna go take my shower. And this dude's like, oh, God. So after she ends up taking her shower, and she's just taking her shower. After she takes her bath, right? She comes out. She's in this nice gown, like this very attractive gown, very revealing gown, where it's like, okay, it's that type of gown where, you want to get to the bed with your man, and you probably want to start, kissing a bit, and then, hey, getting it on, I guess you can say, right? Um, Listen, man, this man Akira is knocked out on the bed. Now, personally, if you ask me, I wish I was in Akira's shoes because I don't think I would be knocked out. I'd be like, well, all right, fine. If you want to do it, then I guess we can, right? But listen, I'm not reincarnated or sent to another world with elf girls, right? So, essentially, you do get this moment where she sees him sleep. She's like, oh boy. She's like, well, have sweet dreams. And she kisses him on the cheek. We actually see her kiss him on the cheek. And then she basically grabs the covers. She sleeps in the same bed as him. And she goes to sleep, right? And Akira's just like, how can I go to sleep after that? So clearly, I think it's very much clear Akira should know that, like, Amelia likes her or likes him like that. Like, she literally kissed him on the cheek as she was going to bed. Now, he still, even though he said, like, how am I supposed to go to sleep? He still passed out and he took a nap. Anyways, Night comes back in the following morning. She's like, hey, Master, it's time to get up. And Akira gets up. He looks over his shoulder and he sees Amelia's right there sleeping right next to him. He's like, what the hell? And obviously, Night kind of is like, well, it seems like a lot happened last night. And obviously, Akira's like, nothing happened, right? And basically, Night's like, listen, you guys need to get dressed and get ready and everything because there's somebody that's going to be coming here. And who we find out is coming here is this guy named Crow, who he's a part of the hero. He was a former part of the hero's party, right? And also knows of Night, right? So essentially, what Akira did is like, okay, here, could you fix my sword for me, right? And dude is like, sure, I can fix your sword, but it's gonna cost you, right? On top of it, Akira makes mention like, I also want these other projectile things, and he's like, all right, here. He basically writes down a note and says like, hey, give me these ingredients along with the pay, and I'll get you what you want. We do find out again he's from the hero's party too. And on top of it, he does signify to, Akira, like, you're not really skilled in like battle or combat because the way this, sword is damaged. Now, Amelia's like, oh, please, you don't understand. Like, Akira is fairly strong, right? But, Akira's like, look, it's fine. He's got a point. I'm not combat adept like that. So that's the thing, right? Anyways, Akira stayed behind to read up on some things, right? While Amelia wanted to left because she ended up going with Crow, and Night ended up falling due to Akira's orders. We find out that Amelia wants to learn, wants to learn about what happened to the elven person in the hero's party and what happened there. And on top of it, she wants Crow to train her because she's like, look, I feel you if you being in the hero's party, I know you're strong enough. And I want to be strong enough so then I can not be a hindrance to Akira. I can be able to be strong enough to, excuse me, to hold my own and stand by his side so then, he's not always trying to save me. Which honestly, again, I like it when I have my female and main characters just they don't want to be the damsel in distress characters. They see themselves alongside the main male character and they're like, no, I want to do something. I want to help the main male character, right? Again, it's Black Clover is one of my favorite animes because they make almost every woman in that show feel important in some sort of way, especially Noelle, where you think, oh, she's gonna probably be she's your typical romance character, your typical character that is shipped with the main male character, aka Asta. And she'll have some nice moments here and there, but she's gonna be your damsel in distress character where she's probably gonna be the type of girl that gets beat up by the main villain, or something like that. And a main male character comes in to save her, and she's like, well, I leave it to you, right? I've seen this trope over and over with animes, but and just regular, not just animes, just regular cartoons and stuff like that, right? But I do love it to where it's kind of that whole mode of like, no, you have these strong-minded, women, female characters that are like, no, I don't want to be a hindrance to the dude. He's strong, I understand that, but I want to be comparable or have some strength towards him, that makes me keep up. I may not be as strong as him, but I don't want to be left behind to where he feels like he's always got to save me, right? And we kind of seen in this episode why she probably feels like this, but especially with the fact that she ended up getting captured, right? Now Crow is like, no, I'm not going to train you, right? And obviously, you know, he's not gonna train her because he feels like, one, we found out like this dude's had previous pupils in the past, but it seems like his pupils had actually quit on him. And she's like, look, I promise you I won't quit. And dude is like, look, dude, I've had enough, because she ended up making like this is when we found out the backstory of Night. So essentially Crow was calling, I forgot what, dude was calling her, but gave her like this nickname. And Knight is like, I would advise you not call me that, please. And obviously Crow was like, dude, that's the only thing I know you to be of. So we find, and now Amelia asks like, okay, what does he mean by this nickname that he gave you? And basically we find out like on the Demon Lord's orders, like she was basically supposed to like, I guess you can say like stop the kingdom or something like that. But what happened is her bloodlust got too crazy and she lost control, and she basically damn near destroyed the entire town, right? This entire beast folk, town, or this capital, I guess you can be. And that adds to the reason why beast folk are scared of her, because she's given the title of this title that, basically means like, hey, don't fuck with this thing. Otherwise, if you fuck with this black cat, you're dead meat, right? But again, Crow was, because of that whole thing being revealed, Crow was like, I'm freaking done with this shit. Please leave. Like, don't bother even seeing me today. I'm done seeing you. So they end up leaving, right? Now Akira, because he has the connected mind, finds out about this whole thing from Crow, right? Now Amelia is walking and shit is getting freaking crazy, right? You have these weird cloud mists show up. Now Amelia uses her magic to like stop it from happening, but then this is when we get introduced to somebody from Amelia's past, which is Jesus, I can't believe I forgot the name. One of the demon lords, like freaking minions, right? And it's like, oh, I remember you. You're the Elven Princess. Because that was from the past. And Amelia remembers the dude's like, wait, you're the dude that messed with my sister's mind, corrupting her and making her the way she is. Right now, Amelia told Knight to go like get the civilians out of there, and Knight's like, okay, I got you. So she takes the civilians away. Now the demon lord's minion is like, hey dude, or hey girl, like, actually I was told by the demon lord I can't really hurt you or kill you, so I'm not gonna do anything to you, right? I'm just gonna capture you and everything, right? and that's what he does. Essentially, what happens is Knight makes the mention to Akira, like, "Hey, you know, Amelia's been captured and she's nowhere to be found, right?" And or the dude, this dude from the Demon Lords, basically took her to the labyrinth, and we find out and establish, just like any other typical fantasy world, like in order to go deeper into the labyrinth and stuff like that, and even have access, you got to have like a certain rank based on like your guild rank and everything. So it makes all sense. But because of this, and Akira hurries to the area, right? And some of those monsters that were still left over from the Demon Lord, he kills instantly. And basically, Knight is like, "I'm sorry, Master. I should have been with her at all times. This is on me." And Akira's like, "No, look, no need to worry about it. We just get the main task at hand is trying to find Amelia in the labyrinth, right?" And he basically tells Knight, he's like, "Hey, get away, please. Just go away for a second." And essentially, he just screams out. He unleashes one of his shadow skills, and again creates this crazy attack. And by the end of the episode, he's like, "If there's, I realized one thing, you know, and that's the fact that Amelia basically meant a lot to me, and because of it, she got kidnapped because of my, I guess you can say, my selfishness and not caring," which I think it's pretty cool. Or actually, I think, yeah, it is a pretty cool thing to see that Akira actually regrets not being there for Amelia to protect her and being by her side. And maybe this actually changes his dynamic of how he feels about her. Maybe now the whole fact is, now it shows, like, he actually, because he does say in this whole thing, as after he passes out, right, or he lays down on the ground, because I don't know if he has passed out after he used that skill. It basically shows him, and it taught him, you know, especially from the fact of how he lost his mentor, right? And it was his fault for, one, revealing himself to the princess of the kingdom, which got his mentor killed, because the princess knew how close he was to him, and at the same time knew the dude was kind of like, "Oh, he doesn't really agree with what we stand for," right? And again, for Akira, it happened again. Somebody, and he realized, no, Amelia meant something. The reason why I acted this way, the reason why I have all this rage and this anger, and I blew it out of the craziness that I did, right? He realized, like, no, Amelia is somebody, that means a lot to him. He cares about her because he truly now understands, like, oh no, she isn't just some girl or some person that accompanied me. No, she's somebody that I care about, that has been with me, and now she's somebody that I want to protect. Now, I don't know if this means he's gonna start to see her in a different light, in terms of, like, he's gonna start to be infatuated and maybe fall for her, because we already know that Amelia has feelings for him. The question is, after this whole incident, is he eventually gonna do the whole thing after he saves her, probably next week, and defeats the demon dude, or he's gonna be like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I promise I'm never gonna leave your side ever again." Is he gonna be that type of thing, to the point he's very overprotective, to the point he realizes how much she means to him? I could perfectly see it. It definitely seemed, for the way the episode ended off, it definitely seemed like, okay, he definitely now understands people that are close to him, people that he cares about. He just can't do his own thing and let them do what they need to do, right? He won't, now he's gonna be in this mode where, like, no, Amelia, I want to be with you basically wherever we go. So if you have to go somewhere, I'm gonna be there. Even if it is nothing to do with me, I want to make sure nothing bad happens to you. So it's gonna be interesting. From what we see in the next episode preview, it looks like that one girl is gonna probably join up and help out Akira, and it's more than likely, it seems like we're gonna have Akira versus that demon dude, right, to save Amelia. But other than that, great episode. I love the characterization. I love the backstory we got of Night. At the same time, I did love the ending of the episode, albeit it was a freaking brutal cliffhanger, right? I hated that. It's great to see that Akira now realizes, I can't lose somebody else like this, otherwise I'm gonna go crazy. I need to make sure Amelia's okay. So we're gonna see him go into the labyrinth next week to try to save her. So yeah. And again, is this the Demon Lord's doing? Because we know that the Demon Lord wants to meet Akira. Did the Demon Lord send this dude out personally himself so he can test Akira to see, like, okay, what's gonna happen? How does this dude react to somebody he cares about or close to him get kidnapped? Is he gonna show his true strength and everything? Because it's gonna be interesting. It is interesting to see, okay, why is the Demon Lord very interested in Akira? Um, so we'll see. We will see, but as you can tell, I'm yawning, I'm getting tired. I'm recording this at like 12 a.m., Pacific Standard Time. So yeah, I'm gonna render this video and call it a night. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Catch you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or your night or when checking this video, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.